Hey, Ed from Precision Gun Reviews here, and today I wanted to take a look at a couple of Walther pistols. These are two single-stack 9mm semi-automatic polymer pistols from Walther, one being the PPS M2, and the other, the less popular, Walther CCP, which is an interesting blowback design pistol that implements the soft coil system, which is a gas-delayed piston system. These two firearms are roughly the same size. You see the CCP will come in a little bit thicker, but first let's take a look at the length. They're obviously the same length, just about maybe a tenth of an inch longer on the CCP, and in this configuration they are the same height. We can take a look at that right there. They line up perfectly with one another. This is the 8-round magazine of the CCP, which is its only option, flush, and then this is the 7-round extended magazine of the PPS. If we eject that and then insert the flush fit 6-round magazine, we have a different picture. Let's put those together, and now if we turn these this way, you'll see that the PPS is indeed shorter, as you would expect from a 2 rounds difference. But, like I said, this is 8 rounds, whereas the PPS extended mag is 7 rounds, meaning you're getting about a 1 round increase in this CCP for the same height. We did want to take a look at the width. As you can see there, the frame of the CCP is ever so slightly wider. However, the slide actually tapers so that the top is narrower. If we take a look at it from the muzzle end, you can see that taper a little bit better. Otherwise, in terms of design, these two are similar yet quite different. We know that this is a typical Browning style tilt barrel design here, and the CCP, well, it is a little different, and it's also much more difficult to take apart. They offer a tool, however, a hex wrench is the best way to do it. This is, as I said, a blowback design with a different sort of recoil system, and this piston that slides into the gas chamber below the chamber that prevents the slide from moving backward too quickly. So there's the difference in the internals. Quite stark, if you ask me. The triggers are different. This one has a typical wall and hard break. This one has a smoother, longer trigger, sort of an average trigger, like, nothing special, nothing to write home about, but nothing really to complain about too much either. In terms of ergonomics, you see they both employ this Walther sort of standard grip texture. It's a little bit better on the CCP. It's slightly rougher. However, the width of the grip, despite them both being single stack magazines, Walther has wisely increased the width of the CCP grip to fill out the hand a little bit more and have less of a focused impact on the palm of your hand because of this rounded contour. It makes it a much more comfortable gun to hold. And that combined with the soft coil system, which, while it doesn't diminish recoil incredibly much, it does make this a softer recoiling gun than this. So this was mainly a size comparison, but also now we're moving into features. We're going to have a review on both of these guns, and you can take a look and decide which one you like better if you want to go for a small single stack 9mm Walther. Other differences are the magazines themselves, the PPS being this Metgar made in Italy magazine, presumably Metgar, and this being more this sort of galvanized steel folded. Also a very good magazine, very slick. It works very well, not a malfunction to it. Nice feed lips, a good follower. This is a steel follower here as opposed to the plastic follower there. The CCP is a little more than an ounce heavier at about 22.8 ounces, while the PPS is 21.1 ounces. The CCP as well has an external safety, whereas the PPS relies on the trigger safety, as you may have become familiar with Glocks and XDs and any number of pistols that employ that type of safety. Even the Apex tactical trigger uses that sort of safety. The CCP tends to rely on that longer trigger pull. Other differences are the fit and finish of the slide. You see this has that flatter edge, this has that more rounded edge, which we looked at already. It reminds me a lot more of a PPQ, and really the CCP is much more like a shrunken down PPQ with completely different internals. Here you do not have a rail. This is much more for concealed carry, where you're not necessarily going to have a light or a laser or anything. This one allows you that option, even though it is small and sized for concealed carry. It gives you a full Picatinny rail, 3 slots, a little bit more options there. The trigger guard is rounded here and very pronounced and serrated there with a flat forward portion. They both have these light finger grooves on the front. You can get a few more fingers on the standard grip of the CCP than the PPS. With the PPS, again, you need the extension for that. They both have a decently pronounced beaver tail area. The slide stop is a lot better on the PPS. I found that this slide stop falls right under my thumb and the gun tends to not lock back on the last round. It protrudes above this frame molding, whereas this one is well hidden below it. It's more snag free than this. Otherwise, they are not ambidextrous in any way. In my shooting of these two firearms, they are both about equally as accurate as one another. The sights on the CCP, however, are nowhere near as good as the sights on the PPS. They may look white now, but somehow when I take them outside, they are duller than they are here under this light. Probably less reflective. They're sort of buried down in there, and these are polymer sights, whereas these are metal sights. I think that covers the majority of the differences between the two. I just wanted to give you a quick look at two very similarly sized pistols, both in that single stack 9mm genre, but each one following a completely different design philosophy for different shooters. This one was generally designed with that soft coil system in mind to help people who wanted the small gun but were maybe a little bit more recoil sensitive. And it does work. It's not dramatic, but it is perceptible. The slide in particular is easier to rack than your average single stack 9mm. So this makes the gun a little bit more accessible for that shooter who maybe has a little weaker hands or is a little bit more recoil sensitive. Takedown was obviously more difficult here than here, and reassembly again is also difficult on that one. With the PPS, it's very simple. It's back together. With the CCP, however, this is a kind of a production. You have to get that piston down into the section below the chamber, and then come back with your tool that they provide, or again, like I said, a hex wrench, and snap it back on that way, and it's ready to go. Interestingly, this gun needs to be racked all the way back to reset that trigger, whereas this, much like your typical striker-fired weapon, only needs to be racked slightly to reset the trigger again. Two Walther pistols, similar in size, similar in ergos, just a very, very divergent design philosophy on either one. I do like them both, and I think either one can have a place in anyone's home arsenal. I find the CCP to be incredibly interesting and incredibly comfortable to shoot, very ergonomic. If I could have this external design with this internal function, I think it would be the perfect pistol. As for the way it is, they each have their own strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully this helped you see the two in direct comparison. I'm Ed from Precision Gun Reviews. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you can always catch our videos as they come out. Until next time, as always, stay safe.